This meeting is being recorded.
Good afternoon. It's Raj Dalari here from XenTegra Canada. I wanted to welcome you to another Tech Thursday webinar. I'm joined by Alex Rubio, Senior Product Manager for Citrix and Citrix Cloud and Citrix GCP. And today we're going to be doing a technical deep dive on Citrix Cloud and GCP. This webinar is going to be recorded, so I want to remind you of that. I also want to let you know that if you have questions, by all means, please add them to the chat, and we'll be glad to answer them. So once again, this is a series that XenTegra runs on a periodic basis. This is, I think we've done about 6 already this year, and I'm especially excited about Citrix Cloud and GCP because really, I think with the addition of GCP to Citrix's cloud portfolio, they really have shown just how robust the product set and the service is. And with more adoption across different clouds, Citrix is just making it far more easier for customers to get access to secure, predictable performance of their critical applications. So with that in mind, I would like to introduce Alex Rubio. Alex, hello, welcome.
Hi, Raj. Thank you for having me. Hello, everyone. My name is Alex Rubio. Like Raj said, I'm a product manager at Citrix. I've been with Citrix for over 20 years. So I've been here for a while in different areas, different functions, currently in product management. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So let me go ahead and share my screen so we can
please do
get started. Raj, you see my screen?
I can see your screen. It is all good, Alex. So whenever you're ready, take it away.
All right. So today what we're going to be talking about is really our, an update on Citrix and Google Cloud. We've done a lot of updates over the past year, or many years actually, working with Google Cloud. But recently we've had a renewed interest and a new, reinvestment in this area. And we have some exciting things to share today. So one of the things we want to talk about, right, is how Citrix and Google Cloud work together. We have a very good partnership. We're integrated. We have integrated engineering teams that meet regularly in our partnership, and we've been building a lot of new. Not only new products, but new features that embrace our digital workspace. So just to back up a little bit, for those that don't know, we have Citrix running. Citrix DaaS is kind of our new name for our CVAD service, right? Which was Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktops. Previous XenApp XenDesktop. So this is a current iteration of our branding. And we really want to stick with that. And the reason is, we still have a wide variety of solutions that we offer today, right? We have ability to do remote PC access with Citrix DaaS. We have the ability to do, Windows server apps and desktops hosted, VDI sessions, multi-session desktops. We provide Linux apps and desktops as well. And we provide the ease of management that comes from DaaS on a cloud service. And we also tie everything together with, as well as our web and SaaS apps using our products like Secure Private Access and some of our others like Secure Internet Access. So we have this broad, spectrum of different areas. We also provide the ability and the flexibility to, either host things on-prem, host or hybrid, which most customers are, or a pure cloud environment as well. So we know a lot of customers are in different areas of their journey to cloud. Some are very, on-prem focused, which is okay. Some are very active and want to move everything to cloud, and some are be like, I just want to move certain things in there, and that's okay, right? So that's one of the areas where we want to make sure that we provide that flexibility for your needs. We don't want to push anyone to move to cloud when they're not ready, but they need to understand and have that, ability to do so when it's right for them and the use cases that are affected. And I'll go over some of those use cases today. So just a little background on our Citrix Google partnership. As you can see, we've been working in stuff for over 10 years now in a lot of different areas of Citrix. You know, we have great relationship with the Google Chrome team with Chromebooks and Chrome OS. Right now we're working a lot on, you know, our Citrix DAS solution. And so if you see all these different areas of you know, integrations that we've done in the past, what I really want to dive into is some of the things that we've done this year. So the biggest thing that we released is we now support Citrix DAS in the Google Cloud Marketplace. And what that means is we have two big things there, right? One, customers can now buy directly through Google Cloud Marketplace by Citrix DAS, and that version of Citrix DAS will be deployed to Google Cloud as the control plane. So our Citrix Cloud solution is now can run on different clouds, and for these versions, we're running in Google Cloud. And I'll dive into a little bit. I have a couple architecture slides that will help us guide you through that and what I mean by that. A couple other things in here, like one of the big things that we're always looking at is how to make it easy to migrate to cloud. And we have a lot of technologies as part of Citrix and Citrix DAS. One of them is our streaming technology, PVS, which is our provisioning services. And we have added a tech preview now that's available to be able to provision on Google Cloud itself, your DAS workloads. Another area in terms of migration that we've been investing in is the image portability service. And what that means is have the ability, so if you have a big on-prem environment, you have all your images set up for on-prem, with this service, it allows you to easily migrate those VMs to Google Cloud. So you could still have one golden image that you use for deployments, and with this service, we can easily translate that and push it and upload it to Google Cloud, so you can deploy desktops as you can, you know, however you want in Google Cloud. One other big differentiator today is the ability to suspend and resume VMs. And this is really helps. So one of the big things that customers always worry about is when you're moving to cloud, there's, you know, the concept of, you know, you have a lot higher costs because a lot of things run per minute, right? And you're always running, so you're always careful of what you want to run on cloud versus not. Well, these are some of the things that really help here. So what Citrix DAS does is it allows us to, in conjunction with Google Cloud, allows us to power down and now suspend and resume VMs based on usage. So if you're running, let's say, you know, you're a desktop environment, right? You're running 1,000 desktops on Google Cloud. We can have set up policies that say, after a user is disconnected for 30 minutes, let's suspend that VM, right? Or you can say, as long as the user during the peak day, you know, during the 8-hour period the users are alive, that VM should be up and running always. As soon as non-peak hours kick in, we want to suspend that VM once a user disconnects, right, to be able to save costs. So this is a huge. This is using Citrix DAS and our autoscale technology to be able to provide that advanced power management. And again, suspend resume is one of the unique features from Google Cloud that are available today. So you know, for me, this is a big deal, especially when you're using single session desktops where a user, you know, if they're not using it, no one else is using that desktop, right? So you really want to not be able to, you know, not incur those costs if a user's not using it. When you're using pooled desktops or multi-session, you know, the cost does help there, but you know, really the advantage is in the single session desktop mode. And and you'll see now when we talk about some of the new architecture, but one of the big areas of performance improvements that we've done is we've now migrated our Citrix gateway service onto Google Cloud. So if you're running workloads on Google Cloud today, previously, and you were using gateway service, you know, we now route all that traffic directly through POPs that are on Google Cloud. So this is a big performance improvement for end users. And again, this is all related to the new, you know, Citrix DAS for Google Cloud initiative that we've been moving on. With that said, this is all the stuff that we've done in this first half of this year. There's a lot more coming in the second half. Unfortunately, I can't share all that today because there's a lot of big announcements that we want to make. But just so you know, there's more coming there. So I just left a big, circle there for more to come in the future. So let's talk a little bit about Citrix DAS on Google Cloud. So we have our Citrix DAS Standard and our Citrix DAS Premium editions that are available today in the marketplace. And if you have that QR code, you goes are linked directly to the marketplace so you can see it and buy it directly from there. So one of the things there is that you can leverage with these editions, you can leverage provisioning desktops to your on-prem resources as well as your Google Cloud resources. So those are the two areas where you can deploy desktops and apps to. And Citrix DAS Premium is the same as our regular Citrix DAS Premium in terms of features with inclusion of WEM and other of our add-on products. But we have a big matrix on our website if you want to go in and look at what the features are for each of these editions. The one thing to note here is that we currently, since we just released, only are supporting the control plane on US region. We are looking at moving it and expanding that in the future. However, it's just the control plane. So you can still deploy all your workloads to your whatever region worldwide you want, right? It's just the control plane, which is, the console and the database hosted behind it that is hosted in the US right now. So that's just one thing just to make sure that customers are aware of that. So what are some of the primary use cases that are really helpful for Citrix in Google Cloud? Some, what we call the sweet spots. A lot of the, anything that's, remote desktop, delivered apps and shared desktop mode, multi-session is really popular. Anything with line of business apps where your app infrastructure has already been moved to GCP, right? You want to get the best performance there. Where you want to deliver those apps and desktops from Google Cloud. So those are big areas. Apps that are specifically using GCP capabilities, such as HPC workloads. For personal desktops, anything using server VDI or desktop VDI. Again, I just talked a little bit about it. Suspend Resume is a great feature to use with that stuff, so it's really helpful there. And as well as we've been seeing actually a big increase in this is Linux VDAs. So one of the areas that we're looking at and has been seeing some success is developer use cases where people are using a lot more Linux VDAs for different things from manufacturing, obviously developing use cases. So there's a lot of different areas that we're seeing where this is becoming increasingly more popular. And obviously, since we do have that Linux VDA support, we are seeing and we're focusing on some of those use cases as well. So you'll see some more stuff in the future of us doing more in this area, as well as making it a lot easier to create Linux desktops to publish. Because today it is a little, there's a long documentation on how to get this up and running. So we're looking at ways to make that easier for admins. Some other use cases that we do as well. If you are looking at Office and require Office 365, we consider using web-only deployments. There is some Microsoft licensing limitations there for Google Cloud, but always anything you're always looking at, please consult your Microsoft rep, for the licensing, issues, and provide that kind of support from them. But we do have support for desktop OSs. So if you want to see Windows 10 single session, there is ways of doing that in Google Cloud using sole tenant nodes and using BYO licensing for that. So there's definitely ways of doing that, and we do have some customers that are using that today and are being successful with it. So that's always a good option. So let's jump a little bit into our architecture. So I made this super simple, and I have some more, we'll complicate it a little bit later. But at the very, high level today, we have what we call, our Citrix Cloud services. So Citrix Cloud in itself is just a platform that we use to be able to run all of our products on. That are cloud, products, our services that are running on cloud. So we have a lot of basic, things in there like authentication that is supported through Citrix Cloud. So when you add a new service onto Citrix Cloud, for us, it's easy for us to just provide the authentication that's already there. So if you have something configured with, Okta or Azure AD or something like that, and it's already set up, adding another service should be super easy because all that is already set up and we can leverage that. So for us, Citrix, that's one of the big advantages of Citrix Cloud. If you're already using DAS and you want to add share file or you want to add another one of our products, it makes it really easy to do that. So for us, one of the things that we did is when we said we managed and moved the control plane over to Google Cloud, what we're talking about is our Citrix Gateway service and our DAS service are now running on Citrix Cloud. Not all of our services are running there. We still have multi-cloud capabilities and we run, other things on Azure and AWS as well. But we do have those that are specifically running on there. So for customers that are really interested in diving in and having that performance of Citrix Cloud, Google Cloud, we're able to provide this functionality. On the high level, you still have workspace, your apps, right? That your client devices are connected, hopefully from a Chromebook, right? Or some Chrome OS enabled device that could come in, connect to Citrix Workspace, and dive in and launch, right? So on the right side of this screen is all the customer managed. So when you start talking about Citrix DAS, this is the hybrid DAS approach, right? Where you have the ability to not only provide for us to provide the control plane, but for the customer to be able to provide their workloads, right? That we will provision out to them. So using our console, our admin console, you could go and connect to your customer tenant, right? To your tenant, and be able to say, hey, I want to deploy 100 VMs in the US. I want to deploy another 500 in Europe, a certain amount in Japan, and you can set all that up easily, and we will go and take care of all the provisioning and creation of those VMs and workloads and management, power management. All that stuff is taken care of by our DAS service. We do still require the Citrix Cloud connectors in here if you're using Active Directory. So I do have a cool demo that it will show now at the end. It shows some of the new improvements that we've done there, where there are now use cases where we don't require these cloud connectors for non-domain join use cases. And I'll show you that. So this is kind of a typical, very simple architecture where you have your Active Directory set up in Google Cloud, your database for your applications, whatever you need, your app servers, and then you publish and you create a Citrix Cloud account. You buy DAS and you go and deploy these cloud connectors so we can sync up with Active Directory and be able to publish your Citrix workloads on there. So let's jump in a little bit and get a little deeper here. This is kind of the same area. I didn't split this out because these are same, at the high level, this is still Citrix Cloud, right? Where now you have multiple data centers, multiple zones, right? So if you want to have high availability across regions, you can do that. If you want to deploy, again, to different areas around the world, we can do that as well. We also have the flexibility to go back to on-prem, right? So if you still have workloads and stuff or apps on-prem, you can create those type of connections to come back to that. So what we see is a lot of our customers are still in this hybrid pattern, right? Where you have your clients, they're still connecting to Citrix Cloud. And some workloads are on Google Cloud, but you also have a lot of workloads that are on-prem. And sorry, this isn't the one. This is the one that I was talking about, where you have, let me build it out. So you still have your on-prem resources, right? So you can have, your gateway or ADC on-prem. You still have storefront. We have the ability to support storefront. Or you can have it managed over here as well on the cloud side. You have storefront and a gateway over here as well. So, we could have a very simple solution or have a more spread out, a complex solution where you have both hybrid on-prem and cloud workloads and management components, right? With these. and for every, you know, resource location you create, you still require those Citrix Cloud connectors in there, because those are the ones that help us with authentication and really connectivity to the Citrix Cloud environment without having to, you know, punch a bunch of firewall things open, holes in the firewall to be able to deliver and talk to each other. So I was going to jump to a quick demo here. Basically, let me set this up. So what we have today, right, where you have Active Directory, you have to create your connectors. You know, the connectors in themselves are Windows machines, right? So you're running, potentially run several $100s a month on running them, and you need to run 2 in each location because of, you know, HA, right, for high availability reasons. So that, you know, when you're running several thousand users or so, you know, it doesn't really matter, that's a drop in the bucket. But when you have smaller use cases, you know, potentially this becomes a big problem, right? Because it's expensive. So one of the things we've done is we're just released last month the ability to do non-domain joined VDAs, which is our, you know, our desktops, and connect them with Google Cloud Identity, right? So using Google as your IDP to authenticate into them. This does not require connectors now. And that's what I'm going to show in this video. So it does help, especially when you're doing like POCs or something like that, where you really need to get something up and running. You can easily get something up and running and with minimal cost in these areas, right? And as well as, you know, if you have 25, 50 VMs you want to throw out there for a special project, you can easily do that without having to worry about extra infrastructure costs. So I'll stop the video so I can talk. But basically what we're doing is I set up a Citrix DAS environment, and I'm connecting to my workspace, right? And immediately you can see that it's logging in with your Google account, right? And again, this is my second time use, right? Because I already went through it once. So I already have my username in there, but eventually you'd have to type in your email, right? And you do the standard Google authentication on here, and it takes you through Google Workspace to authenticate. So now we're integrating with Google Workspace and Cloud Identity to allow you to provide those extra security if you have any special policies that you want to provide, if you need MFA, any of that stuff, you can provide that through here. Once the second time goes around, it already remembers me, so I just click on it and allows me in through there. Then I go ahead and launch my desktop. And as you see, when I log in, it'll provide my login to that desktop. Now, the way that non-domain join works is it gives me let me pause here a second. The way that non-domain join works is what we do is this is a VM desktop that is not domain joined, so it's in a work group. What Citrix does is once you're in this catalog and when we go to launch, we dynamically create a local user account on that machine and tie it to your username that you're logging in with. So it's the same username, but it's a local account on the machine, and we provide the password, so we provide the SSO to it. So that's how this works. So you're able to log in, we create it. As soon as you log into here, now, you know, again, I don't want to show, like, this is, I had already logged in once, so it already remembers my Google account inside Chrome. But then you could go in here, you know, your second, third, you know, 40th time, you already log in and it knows who you are, and you go in and go to Google Workspace or, you know, any app that you want to go through there in there. So that was kind of a short demo. We're actually, you know, we're showing how we're dealing, you know, we're working now with Google Cloud Identity, how we're using non-domain join with connectorless deployment. So again, this is very cool demo when we talk about the back end stuff of what's actually going on, where we do have, you know, minimal, we got rid of connectors and we're using a, you know, Google for identity. So that's kind of what, you know, some of the new things that we're looking at and providing as we move more to cloud services and moving more into some of these use cases that allow us to be more flexible in the cloud. So I believe that was that's all I had. If you guys have any questions, I know I flew through a lot of slides here. Feel free to talk, to come on and ask questions, or if you want to put it in the chat, I can do that as well.
So Alex, we seem to have a bit of a quiet bunch, but that was a pretty solid overview of Google Cloud and the enhancements that have gone on. That's really, it is really good to see the level of innovation that's gone on in the last 12 months. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and yeah, that's right, Raj. And we're really excited. We've already seen success in the marketplace. We've had several. We just announced the last quarter, and we've already had several large deals go through. So we're really excited, and both companies are happy, and we're actually spending more investment in this to make this a better experience.
Oh, that's great, Alex. And what I really like and what I appreciate is Citrix giving customers choice, like they always have, where you don't necessarily have to go with a particular provider. We know that it's a multi-cloud universe, so Citrix, as usual, says, "Hey, look, it's available in the cloud in multiple clouds, which will be kind of closer to your requirements, kind of closer to how a modern business functions." So it's just great to see, Alex. We're absolutely thrilled about it. We are completely convinced that more of our customers, as they go to Citrix Cloud or expand in Citrix Cloud, will really seriously consider GCP. And I think it's just tremendous that Citrix has made the platform available in multiple hyperscale clouds. It's really excellent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks, Raj, for that. I do. I think one big thing as well for customers is as you buy through the marketplace, you do get if you do have a big commit with Google, that helps burn down your commit as well. So customers love that idea as well as buying the software. And once you get the consumption on there as well, your workloads, you're able to burn down that commit through the workloads too. So it's a win-win.
That is really good to know, and I think most customers are going to think about that and say, hey, look, if there is a way to kind of bring down those costs by through higher consumption or whatever, that just makes good business sense.
Yep. And so the last thing I wanted to mention was we're like I said, we're actively I meet with Google weekly. Our team we meet regularly with them as part of a bigger engineering team. So if there is things that customers are going through and they're seeing pains or anything through there, to please reach out, right? You can reach out to me, reach out to our partners, and we're actively looking for feedback on this, right? So we are spending a lot of time building this new product, and even though it is Citrix DaaS, there's a lot of new components we're constantly looking to differentiate, right, and add those advantages. So we're always looking for feedback. So if you have that, please share with us. We're open for that.
So Alex, I can send you an email. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely, always. I forgot to put my email on there, but I'm sure we have it in here. It's alex.rubio@citrix.com.
That is a standard Citrix email. So yes, Alex.
Yes, no.
Yeah, we'll try not to overload you, Alex. Now, just a couple of things. I think one of the things that I want to just kind of pin you down to, Alex, is we are going to have you back to do this once again in either 6 or 12 months, because I think if you continue on the trajectory that you're on, it'll just be a story that just gets better and better. So Alex, first off, thank you for joining XenTegra for Tech Thursdays. Mm-hmm. It's absolutely great to have you here. We're going to absolutely make sure that we get you back. And I guess I want to wish you the very best of luck with your scuba diving coming up in the next week. It sounds truly exciting. And thank you for this truly informative webinar. This has been excellent.
All right. Thank you. Anytime, guys.
Take care then.
Bye.
Thank you, folks.